What's up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist here with...
Gersh1 is super dark.
It is super dark. That's probably because all the light is being stolen by our window.
To the window! The special window. We are in that point in the warp where... Oh, damn, we told them we're in the warp.
Oh.
All you need to know is that the window's really bright, so it makes us look dark.
Or maybe we're just that dark.
And you will never know what's on the other side of the window. Spoiler alert. It's the window.
The window's outside of the window.
Yeah. So this is a special for the Greater Wall. What ended up happening is that me and the Sound Alchemist could not create a video for you guys, so we decided to put this one out for you guys where we answer questions from the Greater Walls. So you're either watching this the next day or you're watching this a couple months from now. We don't really know when we're all going to get tied up and we won't be able to give you guys a video. Anyways, this question comes from, what would happen if a this question comes from Caredneck?
Sounds right.
Oh, C.A. Redneck.
Ah, okay.
There you go. California, maybe? Okay. But he asks, what would happen if a Tyranid Hive fleet entered the Eye of Terror? Good question.
So, first of all, you gotta talk about Tyranids have that special thing called Shadow of the Warp, where they like block off themselves from any warp. It's basically like jamming your signal of the warp.
Mm-hmm.
So psychers won't be able to get their psychic abilities out. Sometimes distress signals get canceled out. So if you put that and jam it into something that's made of the warp, what would happen?
Yeah, I think it would be just like water and oil. They would kind of separate. Mm-hmm. But I think the warp entities would still try to attack the Tyranids, which they would be able to. It would be hard for them, which might give a slight advantage to the Tyranids, but ultimately the Hive fleet is inside the warp, so they're going to be bombarded by a bunch of entities trying to destroy them because they're trying to get rid of whatever this is that's not letting them move through the warp like normal. Yeah. So it actually might bring normality into the warp. But ultimately, how do the Tyranids feed? They feed off of biomass. Is there biomass in the warp? There's not, so...
There's really no reason for them to go into the warp.
Yep.
I mean, the only thing I could think of is, let's say the Tyranids do kill off all life on the universe, and there's this Eye of Terror. They have nowhere else to go, so they go in there. Now, the hive mind may evolve itself so much so that they don't need biomass. Now they're trying to feed off of warp energy. That'd be
badass.
Yeah.
But that would be because I've seen this question a lot. Like, why doesn't the Imperium use the Tyranids as like a bomb, as a weapon, and shoot it into the Eye of Terror? Maybe the savants are scared that if they do that, the Tyranids would evolve into something way worse.
Right.
So yeah. Thank you for saying that question.
Yeah, that goes off of the same thing of like the food chain. Oh, I've got mice, so let's bring in cats. Oh, now I got too many cats. Let's bring in cougars. Oh, I've got cougars. Let's put in gorillas, and it just keeps on getting worse and worse.
Until the winter comes and they all die.
That's right. So we just gotta wait till winter.
Yes.
This one's by Alexander Milanov. If women are not allowed to be Space Marines, do you think that they should add a new unit of female snipers assassins to the lore? And what would they be called? So first of all, it's not that women aren't allowed to be Space Marines. They can't. Their biology does not accept the implants and the organs that are pushed in there to become a Marine.
Because of hormones.
Basically. Because
all that stuff.
And will they ever be put into a new unit of assassins and snipers? So they're I think it's called Calidus Assassin. That's a woman, or that's a girl. That's a woman.
That's one woman.
Yeah. And if you're in the Imperial Guard, I think there's women in there, right?
Yeah, there's Imperial Guard. Yep.
Yes.
The Tanith first and only.
That's right. Yeah. The Elysian Drop Troops.
Yep.
So yeah, there's women in the Imperial Guard, and they can wield snipers and stuff like that. So.
Yep. Next question comes from, this is in Russian or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce those letters.
Numbers.
Baknin Bonumho. Would GW add a new Chaos God in the end of the 40k scenario? Something like Slanesh, but for humans. That's a good question. It seems that I don't think GW would do that just because it seems like it's a result that is very stereotypical, and I don't think GW ever has done anything where it's like, oh, we saw that a mile away kind of thing.
They tend to surprise you.
Yeah.
Jump scares.
And then piss you off.
This one's by Ryan Lewis. Would a Psyker be able to devour a demon's power, like its life force, via something like Soul Drain and add it to his own, much like demons do to mortals?
Would what? A Tyranid?
A Psyker.
Oh.
So like, would a Psyker be able to like drain a demon and make his power into his own? I guess like the opposite of a demon possessing a human.
Maybe if the entity is strong enough, I'm pretty sure if it was like a librarian or something like that against a lowly demon, yeah, why not?
I've never heard of it, but I think it's a possibility. I mean, the warp can give Psykers many abilities, so who's to say that's not one?
Yep. Mattis Silverburn. Nope, already read that. Yeah, but I do have a question for Death Knight. Question: what if the Emperor died? What will happen to all chapters? And thank you. Keep up the great work. Thanks, man. So if the Emperor died, Terra would be destroyed because not a warp. Well, there'd be a small warp gate, and a bunch of demons would come and like eat at the inside of it. I think the let's talk, because we always talk about what happens if he died or whatever, or if he came back. But if he died, the Space Marine chapters, first off, Imperial Fist would be the first to react to them, and they would be hurt pretty bad. I think they would suffer the most losses to the point where they would be the next Salamander chapter. But they would be assisted by the almighty Grey Knights, which are right in that same solar system.
They're in the moon of, I think, Jupiter, Titan, is what it's called.
So they would pop out and be like, bam. And I think they have the best defense. Actually, I never really thought about that until now. Like, if there was an attack, a chaos attack on Terra, Grey Knights are right there. And Grey Knights are a menace. Yeah.
And if you go back to one of our older lores, I did 40 facts on one of the most amazing fan fictions that I've read. Basically, Warhammer 40k. So once the Emperor has died off completely, what is the state of the universe? And in that person's, I forgot your name, but in that person's reality, the Grey Knight Moon of Titan is one of the best strongholds out there. There's no way anything can get in, but at the same time, they're basically trapped on their own moon. So they can't get out, but nothing can get in, so they're kind of at a stalemate. But yeah.
Yeah, and then as far as all the other Space Marine chapters would go, they would try their best to push towards Terra and make sure that everything is, or to find out what happened, because the Astronomicon is gone, so they can't send communication anymore. So
they can't warp travel.
Yep. Yeah. So they're gonna have to slowly inch their way back to Terra, and then discover that, the Imperial Fist and the Grey Knights were pretty much the only people defending Terra, and they might have fallen, or like more than likely what happened is that now the new stronghold is actually the Titan.
Or Ultramar, since Space Marines kind of have that little sector on,
Oh yeah, no, but I'm pretty sure that the Ultramarines would travel to Terra because they want to find out what happened.
Right, but I don't think all of them would go though.
No.
Because you have Cato Sicarius, and we all know how humble that man is. I don't know why, but every time I hear of Cato Sicarius, I always think of Kanye West.
Kanye West. Is it true he's leaving Kim Kardashian?
Rumors, man.
Next question.
This one's by Ben Gorst Wright. Question: what if some men of iron survived and fled? Yeah, what if some men of iron survived and fled and created the Tyranids? Your thoughts on this?
That'd be a hell of a really good short story. But I think that's all it would be, a short story. I don't think they would be able to create their own faction. And it wouldn't be the Men of Iron. It would be, well, they would be called the Men of Iron, but basically they're Chaos Corrupted AI.
Right.
And by this point, I think the Chaos Corrupted AI would somehow connect with that Forge world inside the Warp, and something cool like that would happen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see that scenario playing out, but it's a good idea.
Yeah. Nicholas Kappa says, who is the oldest living Space Marine excluding Dreadnoughts?
Dante, commander of the, so let's say Space Marines, commander of the Blood Angels. I think he is the oldest known living Space Marine.
George Pantoja asks, do you think that the Doom guy from Doom can kill a Space Marine or a Bloodthirster? If he's lucky, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't see that happening. But it's always, if it's a one-on-one, there's always that small chance of the underdog winning, basically.
I got D. Wilkson says, worst and best color scheme for Chaos Warbands. I think the worst chaos color would be pink.
Yeah, or like neon green. I don't really see that many bright colors on Space Marines.
Neon anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best would be like a dirty, like sepia yellow, or a gray, like a rusty looking, like gray teetering on black.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be really cool color scheme. What about you? Is there anyone that, any particular Chaos Space Marine chapters that you were like, damn, that's painted badass?
No.
Nah, let's move on. Okay, cool.
This one's by the WoW Medic. How many STDs does Slaanesh have?
All of them.
Yeah.
We've answered that before.
Have we?
We have, but now you know that STDs originate from Slaanesh.
Unless you meant STCs.
But you did. Because that's crazy, man. Alright, next question.
Noah Campbell. Which one of you is Alfarius and which one of you is Omegon?
I'm the one that never dies.
And I'm the one that's always dead.
That pretty much answers it.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, you know who died and who didn't die, right? Because if you don't, then that just made it more confusing for you.
Because if you don't know, now you know.
Why are you going to ask a question like that then? Huh? Pope Corky, the 24th says, is it possible for Space Hulk to contain wrecks of ancient space vessels? I mean ancient like Dark Age of technology, or maybe even when War for Heaven's Great Ancient. So the War in Heaven, yeah. Yes.
It is possible.
It's been known to happen a lot, that those Space Hulks are from back in the day. That's why the Adeptus Mechanicus usually tends to get super, super excited when something
Yeah,
like that happens.
They do.
Because STCs can be on it. And yeah.
This one's by Lefardis Magus. Why is the warp limited to only our galaxy?
It is.
It is, yeah.
I've never really understood
Yeah.
why.
I've never even thought about it. I mean, it's here, and I'm like, oh, okay, I accept it.
Yeah. No, I don't know why, but yeah, it has in the lore. It says that it's limited to this galaxy. No idea why. That might change. It might just be a filler that one of the writers put in by accident. But yeah. And then last question comes from, we'll do Killer Snowman.
Go for it.
When Lorgar and his word bearers went looking for what Lorgar himself called the true religion, after the Emperor had told him that he was not a god and did not intend for anyone to worship him as one, Lorgar went on a pilgrimage to Cadia, where he found human longs forgotten, who had been living on an almost like Stone Age era. Yet upon his arrival, told him that they had been waiting for him. How is that possible? The location.
Cadia is right there next to the Eye of Terror.
So those men were either infected by probably Tzeentch. And Tzeentch knew about the whole Horus heresy, and she used those men as a catalyst for Lorgar and his continual push towards the Horus heresy.
Yeah. Now, another thing to kind of solidify the Tzeentch control is that one of the things that was very noticeable out of all these primitive humans was that their eyes were the same color as the Eye of Terror, which is like a little purplish color or whatever. So what other demon or chaos god is purple? Tzeentch.
There you go. And those were the questions for this special edition of For the Greater War. Now, please send questions our way. Now, forewarning, the questions that you guys send us, or the questions you post down below, might not be answered tomorrow or on the next Greater War. They're gonna be held off until the next time we can't upload a video, so you guys get one of these videos.
Right. So we're gonna put them in stasis, just like Gilliman.
So if you want your question to be put in stasis, comment down below. Don't forget to put question followed by whatever it is. And if you want to comment because we will be answering those throughout the week. We're gonna type the answers to you guys. Thank you guys so much for everything, and sorry we couldn't get you a video today.
But as always, I am Sound Alchemist,
Gersh1,
Window Dude, and we are signing out.